Hello everyone, I am Hema Sati Sharma and student. We are going to discuss the chapter Chemical Effects of Electric Current. In our previous lecture, we have discussed electroplating. So we were discussing electroplating of copper onto the brass. So what we had done, we had two electrodes. One electrode was of copper because copper we want to deposit, and other electrode was of brass because on brass we want to deposit the copper. Next was electrolyte. So electrolyte was of the material which was required to be deposited. So here we want to deposit copper. So electrolyte will also be of copper. So now we have one electrode of copper and other electrode of brass and electrolyte solution of copper salt. For example, copper sulfate. Now the copper electrode was connected to positive terminal, that was anode, and brass was connected to negative terminal, which was anode. So in electrolytic solution, when electric current is passed, copper sulfate break down into copper cations and sulfate anions. So negatively charged particle go to the positive terminal, which is anode, and positively charged copper ion go to negative terminal, which is brass, and hence the copper get deposited on the brass electrode. So how experiment we'll conduct, we need to take copper sulfate and two copper plates of same size. So here what we are doing, we are depositing copper on the another copper plate. Take 250 ml of distilled water in a clean and dry beaker. Dissolve 2 teaspoons of copper sulfate in it. So you know that distilled water does not conduct electricity. To make it conducting, we need some salt. So here we have taken copper sulfate. So add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. Acid is added so that copper sulfate solution is made more conducting. Connect the copper plates to the terminals of the battery and immerse them in copper sulfate solution. Connect the circuit as shown in the figure. So here you can see this is the battery, positive terminal connected to the copper plate, negative terminal to the another copper plate. So here this is positive terminal se connected hai, so this is anode and this is cathode, and this is the copper sulfate solution which is blue in color. So when current is allowed to pass through the copper sulfate solution, what will happen? Solution will separate into copper and sulfate. So electric solution which is having electrolytic solution which is having copper sulfate will dissociate into copper ions which are positively charged and sulfate ions which are negatively charged. Now the separated free copper, now the copper ion are positively charged. So where will they go? They will go to the negative electrode, which is cathode, and they will get deposited there. And at the same amount of copper will get dissolved in the solution from the positive electrode. So what is happening here? From the positive electrode, that means from this electrode, copper is going to the solution and depositing to this plate. So after a while, what you will observe, that thickness of this plate has increased and this plate has thinned down. Hence we can say that copper from positive electrode got transferred to the negative electrode. This kind of transfer is also known as electroplating. So what are the application of electroplating? Why it is important? Electroplating is used in industries for coating different metals on another metal objects. For example, you must have observed the chromium finished taps. So chromium, which is lustrous and it is corrosion free, it is scratch resistant, etc., but very costly. So taps, etc., cannot be made. We cannot make taps from chromium because chromium is very expensive. So what we can do, we can electroplate chromium on other brass, iron, etc. So chromium electroplated parts are used in car, taps, burners, etc. to lower the manufacturing cost. Silver and gold are deposited on cheaper materials by jewelers to lower the jewelry cost but keeping the appearance intact. So you must have come across electroplated jewelry. So material is cheaper. For example, brass is plated with silver. It looks like a silver but it is not silver, hence it is not costly. Iron cans are electroplated with tin, used for storing food as iron gets easily rusted and so protect the food from spoiling. So this we have studied in our previous classes also, that iron being a metal is very reactive and it rusts and it spoils the food. So iron cans are electroplated with tin, which is a less reactive metal. Zinc is also deposited on iron, which is called galvanizing of iron, used for the construction of bridges, vehicle, etc., protected from rust and corrosion, because zinc is also less reactive. So this way we have finished the chapter, which is called chemical effects of electric current. Hope you are clear with the chapter. Thank you so much.